Alright, welcome everybody to another late night stream, and tonight we are gonna do a U-boat again. That beautiful simulation where you slip into the role of a German submarine commander in the Second World War. Yeah, that simulation takes place in a wonderful open world where you are really free to do whatever you like. Well, actually you should do what your seniors order you to do. You have different missions, but can choose between different missions, take different paths along the whole war. And we actually started this project here more than a year ago in real life, and since then, back then we started at the very beginning of the Second World War in September 39, and if you look to the top left of the screen, you see that we are in mid-May 44 by now, which means that the war we are now something like 4.5 years into the war. And since the very beginning I did share just any mission, just any progress, any adventure, any tedious patrol and looking for enemy convoys. I did share all that with you, my dear audience, on Twitch, and since a while I also upload these streams to YouTube. Yeah, to be honest, I don't have the time to do cutting or something, so I just upload the whole streams, and yeah, still looks like there is a bunch of people who find it interesting to just maybe go fast forward through my adventures, find the nice and exciting spots, or just share with me all the routine, which is part of the immersion of this game. So welcome and good evening. We are out in the Atlantic. We are doing the last stand mission set. We already reached the first level. We are up to reaching 100,000 tons, and this would give us this boat upgrade point. Yeah, we have done a lot of missions. We started, of course, in the North Sea from the port of Wilhelmshaven. Then, after some time, transferred to La Rochelle, went to the closer Atlantic. Got the opportunity to change to the Type 7. I actually did start with the Type 2. Then we did the Black Pit mission set in the middle of the Atlantic, and finally we got access to the milk cows and the opportunity to hit right at the enemy shores on the other side of the pond. Returning back for some while, Bergen was our home port. We did the Arctic Convoys mission set, which was maybe the toughest of all the missions set up to now. After being there successful, we ventured through the Strait of Gibraltar, finished the Battle of the Mediterranean, and now we are back having again La Rochelle as our home port and doing the last stand mission set. And here we are. We already have sunk sufficient ships, 7,000 tons plus, for this patrol mission, so we could return back home. But we still have quite a bunch of torpedoes in the hold, in the store. So 4 torpedoes in the tubes, 2 torpedoes in the storage, and this is actually the torpedoes that we got from the deck. The deck stores are empty by now. Stern, let's see, I think we still have both stern torpedoes. No, we also fired a stern torpedo, but to be honest, I don't remember whether we did hit anything decent with the stern torpedo. Maybe it was that one that blew up. Yeah, I think this was pretty weird. That torpedo seemed to have blown up just after leaving our torpedo tube. luckily without doing us any damage. So here we are, let's turn on the pump for a little while. Just a bit of water in the bilge. That's completely normal, ordinary. And here we are with 3 different types of food. We have used quite a bit of spare parts because, yeah, we got depth charged. We went so deep that we had some leaks coming in. This is due to the deep leaks mod that I am playing with. The only mod actually that I have installed. I hope that it's not affected by the update. And yeah, seems like we also needed to heal some guys of the crew, although obviously that healing was done so quickly that I didn't quite get it. That some medkits were used, but obviously they were. And yeah, we still have spare parts, but you see, this guy, Mr. Schneider, our second mechanic, still has 5 spare parts. Mr. Ahlers only has 3 spare parts left. This is our first mechanic, and Mr. Grade, our chief engineer, 4 spare parts. I usually try to keep them all supplied with 5, but I am slowly running out of spare parts. So, pretty eventful patrol up to now. Let's see if we can already get eyes on some smoke columns on the horizon. But oh yeah, there they are. So a bit surprised that I see them so close already. Well, maybe you wouldn't call it close, but if you look at the map, I am tracking the enemies with our passive radar detection. And here we see that we have that one contact somewhere there, so still pretty far away. This contact is how far away? 13 miles. Well, on 13 miles you could already see the smoke columns. And by the way, it might be that there is the active radar of theirs mounted on an escort, and the convoy might just stretch left and right or any direction. So it does make sense that we see the guys, but let's not get closer. Let's not get closer. We are moving flank speed. So we actually did have an encounter here, and we did sink, how many? Two of their ships. And after that, yeah, they attacked us very heavily with loads of depth charges, but finally they gave up and moved on with their convoy, and that was the opportunity to get back to the surface and move around the convoy and try to get in front of that same convoy again. That's our plan. And start another attack. Like, what our experience is that when the escort runs out of depth charge, they often leave the convoy and turn back home. So maybe we are gonna face a convoy which is at least partly stripped of their escort. Let's see if this plan comes together. So what I want to do is to give it a new save. I always do a new save when it's a new stream, and on the other hand there was this update just in case that the update does any harm to my game, my modded game. Yeah, lightly modded. I only just have that one single mod installed. The Deep Leaks mod actually. And nice Aquizing. Very nice to have you in the chat. How are you doing? And thanks for the good wishes. So we are not too far away from doing another engagement. Yeah, I'm fine. Had a bit of a busy day at work. Well, actually at work means today it was home office. But yeah, it was actually busy. A lot of stuff just to kind of do and finish. And by the way, over the weekend I will be back to my hometown meeting some old school friends. And so I will have an extended weekend. And by the way, this will mean that I'm definitely gonna stream on Saturday. So this is one reason why we are already doing a U-boat stream right now on Wednesday. So I'm probably gonna leave on Saturday and will only be back on next Wednesday. There is quite a wave. If we look at the wind, 16 knots, it's not that much. I mean, it could be much more. Wind speeds might rise to up to 25 knots, and we are already having quite some choppy sea. Also, maybe choppy is not the right word. Pretty large waves. Yeah, that looks pretty beautiful. This is what we love the game for, right? Wow, look at how deep we dive into the waves. So, now let's do a little bit of time acceleration. By the way, discipline is fine. There we have a fatigue level of 3 by now, -3. I'm a bit surprised that we don't get a bonus from different types of food. So that surprises me, but we should get a moral boost from the cook, actually. Okay, let's carry on and later check whether we get it. Yeah, aquizing, that's just great. Yeah, we are a bunch of friends still from, good old times back in school. So meeting these guys is always also kind of a trip back down memory lane. Yeah, knowing all these guys since so many years, it's always good to have a beer with them, or 2 or 3, and talk about good old times and just talk shit in the way like we always did. So I'm really looking forward to see them again. Yeah, we meet actually one or two times per year in kind of big scale with all the guys. Yeah, actually there's a big party in my hometown, and we are all gonna join. Will be great, but yeah, will be a bit exhausting as well. So nobody of us is 20 anymore. I have to admit. But let's not talk about our age, but continue. Yeah, they were moving with 7 knots, and I don't think that anything changed about that. So here we still have the passive radar contacts. That's pretty comfortable.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Convoy? Herr Convoy?
Yeah, as it is a large convoy, these changing of the position of the contact, wiggling around their main course, yeah, doesn't mean that they are actually changing position all the time or changing course all the time. Probably the convoy in total is keeping a pretty stable course like I sketched it there on the map. Let's just hope that this is not a change in course. Now what's the time? 2:46. Let's mark the time there. Let's give it a time marker. And let's move on. Let's see where they are in 15 minutes. Yeah, the sun's gonna rise pretty early. We are, well, in May. Well, oh my god. Let's just hope that this is not them reporting that they have detected us or something like that. But I think they can't detect us on that range.
Signale geortet. Peilung 65 Grad. Herr Kapitän?
Okay, Mr. Grades, sorry, it's your off watch. I know here, Mr. Alos, it's your off watch, but whom am I gonna pick? Yeah, Mr. Grade, please care for the diesel so that we can keep up flank speed.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Okay, might be actually. That does look a bit like a change of course. Let's
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
keep an eye on that.
Konvoi in Sicht. Peilung 60 Grad.
Herr Kapitän. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
$60, they said. So where are they? Yeah, visibility is not great. And then we have that much movement in the boat that it's hard to actually fix the horizon or fix a target. Hey, weight loss, good evening. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? Might be even something like more like 90 degrees. Yep. Wow. How much water are we taking like that? Well, at the moment the bilge is clear, but maybe they should better have the exterior hatch closed at that weather. I thought they would do that automatically. Main hatch management should be done automatically. So let's not interfere and assume that the crew knows what they do. Yeah, maybe I would like to dive at that point to make sure that I also get another reliable information about their position, not just by the passive radar, but also by the hydrophone. Let's do one hydrophone check.
60 Meter.
If we look at that,
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
half an hour, 3, yeah. Yeah, still looks consistent that they are moving with the speed of roughly 7 knots like I determined before. No.
Ja?
Guys, sorry, I have to be AFK just for 1 minute.
30 Meter.
40 Meter.
Alright, back again. Thanks for your patience. And
Wie
now,
lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Mr.
Aktuelle
Strauss,
Tiefe
please
45 Meter.
tell us what you hear. So we went down to 50 meters. Now, engines being stopped, and in the complete silence down here, we are listening. Or particularly Mr. Strauss,
50 Meter.
our second radio man, is listening, being supported by Mr. Rucher.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung
There we are.
60 Grad.
So let's see which information do we get from. Let's give it different marks
50 Meter.
and call this one hydrophone contact.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Another.
50 Meter.
Yeah, the radar is only mounted on a few escort ships, so we only detect with the passive radar detection system. We only detect these escort ships, particularly those who have mounted radar,
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr
and
Kaloin?
not
55 Meter.
any of the convoy ships. And let's give us a time marker as well. Now it's 3:25. Okay, let's abort at that point, abort the hydrophone check and get back to the surface as fast as possible. So these guys are, well,
Aktuelle
10 miles close.
Meter.
So what about the galley? Why is the galley not increasing the moral at the moment? That's a bug, isn't it?
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
I do have the sailor working at the galley, but I don't get any bonus from the 3 different dishes that I am producing or processing in the kitchen. Why is this? Is this a new bug? There's no reason why I shouldn't be work in the galley going on. Okay, I wasn't aware that we could still do repairs. Let's do that. Okay, yes. The conning tower is still not 100% repaired. Okay, good to see that.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Obviously, he can't get any support there. Eric Schwartz, he's working in the galley. Yeah, that would be ugly if there would be a new bug with the galley. Did anybody of you hear of reports that after the update the galley would not be working properly? Come on, let's change it a bit and see what is gonna happen if we reduce it just to one set of pork.
Erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Yeah, okay, I want to have Mr. Schneider doing the repair because he is gonna produce scrap. So this was a bit of a waste of time, but I think he's gonna do it pretty quickly. And yeah, we actually need the spare parts. We are really might run sooner. It's not critical yet, but we might run short of spare parts. And is it too stormy? But then there should be any message. A cook will prepare dishes that increase more or... Yeah, in the past you never had to address an officer as a cook. Just one of the crewmates, like we have it here. Clearly see Eric Schwartz is working in the galley, so why is he not producing happiness? That's weird, pretty weird. Let's hope that we get a set of spare parts from that. Oh shit, I stopped it accidentally. Again. Just by meaninglessly clicking around. But I'm too much distracted by this issue with the galley. Well, maybe I have to ask ChatGPT later what's up with the galley. Or is there something that I just don't have on the radar, any effect or something? I don't get the plus from the different types of food.
Herr Kapitän?
So these are the radar contacts. Alright, then please repair the damages that we still have. Ah, yeah, on the flag gun. Ah, there are some repairs which don't cost you repair parts, and this obviously was one of them. Hey. Please finish the repair before you maintain the torpedoes.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Hey guy, finish the repair before... Oh, I did obviously finish the repair. Okay, sorry guy. Yeah, he did finish. So, okay, he still has 5 spare parts, so he would not have created scrap probably. Nope. Beautiful, look at the sunrise in the west. Yeah, in the west, in the east of course. And it's in summer, it is even more northerly than east, actually. So beautiful. Would have been nice to do the attack before sunrise or just by sunrise, but I think until we are in position to attack these guys, the sun will be well up. So now it would be an hour that we did follow these contacts. So here I did mark it. 2:46, now it's 4:46.
Ja,
Alright, there we are. And the other contact
Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin.
is there. Yep, 6 knots, 6 to 7 knots is the speed of the convoy. Yeah, the captain went to bed because he was pretty tired, as we see here by the blue bar, but he is recovering at the moment. Well, there is a guy at the galley. I did put it only to priority 4, but usually that's perfectly fine and does work. So I have no idea why we don't get the foot preparation bonus at the moment. Is it because of the heavy sea? I mean, that might be a reason, but would be nice to get informed about that. Let's give it a save, by the way.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Now they're really a bit close, so now this is risky.
Ihre Befehle.
Might well be that we are in their radio range by now. More than another half an hour. Yeah, okay. Looks kind of reasonable. Now,
Tauchen auf.
let's do the next hydrophone check. Let's just hope that we didn't go too much of a risk. They are pretty close now. Might be that they have us on the radar. 11 miles.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Convoy?
Aktuelle Tiefe 25 Meter.
Herr Kapitän.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet. Herr Kaloin?
50 Meter.
Okay, here we are, 50 meters. Let's listen again, silently.
Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
So, anything to hear?
Ich erwarte Ihre
Yes.
Befehle.
Let's check that.
55 Meter.
Hydrophone contact.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Hydrophone contact. I'm not sure. Might be that they have changed their course.
Herr Kapitän.
No. I decided to mark my hydrophone contacts with an H by now. To separate them from the passive radar contacts. Yeah, weight loss, I'm a bit surprised because, yeah, to me it looks a bit buggy. Look, I have 2 different types of food. Before I even had 3 different types of food, and I don't get a bonus. I don't get a moral bonus
Rohr 5 gewartet.
since a while. So I'm a bit worried that this is a bug, a new bug. Or am I just forgetting about? No, I haven't. Battle station is hours ago. I mean real hours. 6-7 hours ago that we were on battle station. So everything is normal. No bonus here in discipline. And here it says that Eric Schwartz is manning the galley correctly. I was already thinking about asking my dear pal ChatGPT to do some research if there are reports about this being a new issue or something. If it couldn't be resolved, it would pose quite a bit of a problem to my gameplay. Pretty much rely on that moral boost of the food.
40 Meter.
Yeah, let's just stop the hydrophone check and keep on, get on moving.
Tauchen auf.
We are gonna stay at 50 meters for now.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Yeah, ours should be enough, and usually you see that kind of this counter going up. So you have that number showing the percentage or the effect of the galley, and as soon as you stop battle stations, you should see that number going up continuously.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
Pretty strange indeed, yeah.
Meter.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
Let's go for half an hour or something and then
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
stop. Do some deep listening again.
Ja?
If you ask me, it really looks like they have changed course.
Jawohl. Herr Kapitän?
What about these two contacts? There was now half an hour between them, so the distance should be only 2 miles. Okay, 3 miles. Yeah, there is some uncertainty.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
And this is probably the military guys. They might well have a bit of a chaotic course.
Herr Kaloin? Herr Kapitän?
And finally this one. So I would like to go after these guys here. Looks like this is their course.
Kurs setzen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
So let's hope that these guys here are just ordinary merchantmen and that the escort is looning around somewhere there. That's at least my gut feeling at the moment. What's the distance by now? 6 miles. So that might, by the way,
Torpedo
okay.
gewartet.
they were moving like that, and if they're moving like this now, that would be really a realistic course straight for England, for Cardiff or Portsmouth. Makes perfect sense, so give it another save.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
And yeah, let's slowly go to periscope depth by now. Oh, we do have a bit of water in the bilge by now. But now I don't dare to turn on the pump anymore. The enemy's too close, he might hear me. Pretty weird, this thing
35 Meter.
about the galley.
Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 25 Meter.
That's
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
And now I want one of you
20
guys Mr. Arlos, if you would please attend to the depth steers
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloin.
and help the crew hands to keep depth so that we don't broach the surface as soon as we are on periscope depth, particularly with this heavy weather and the waves going on. That would be a bit risky. So, Captain, if you would be so kind and man the attack periscope.
15 Meter.
When we are nominally at 10 meters, we might already be able to use the periscope, but probably it's still a bit too deep, particularly in this choppy sea, heavy sea.
Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter. Meter. Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Yeah, go for periscope depth, please. So this is gonna be tough in this heavy sea.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick.
Okay, there is smoke almost dead ahead. How far away are we from that extrapolated course? Not too far away. Maybe we could reduce speed a bit and be more silent like that, and maybe it would be reasonable to go for silent running by now. But yeah, maybe it's a bit too early already. That's these guys. What would be the angle towards them? 70 degrees. Let's see if my figures are fairly correct. Must be them. Any more? I'm a bit surprised that I did not spot the smoke columns of the other guys there. Oh yeah, there they are. Just pretty hard to get them in this weather. And that's so beautiful about the game, isn't it? I mean, this influence of nature, the waves, how they are simulated and they really affect your gameplay. So what we see there is probably this guy. And they would pass by much further away. So I'm gonna hope to go for that guy here. Let's just hope that it's a merchantman and not an escort flanking the convoy.
Auf Februar 4 gewartet.
6 miles. Still 6 miles away. So, should I actually get closer on them by ourselves? Let's give it a save. At the moment, I feel that we are still in a relatively safe position.
Kurs setzen.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloi.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Herr Kapitän.
So I don't know why, but at the moment I don't get any signal from these guys. Let's just hope that this is not the flanking escort, but my gut feeling tells me that their course is too regular. But yeah, you never know, you never know. What does the crew estimate? Okay, not good. The crew judges this to be a corvette. Mr. Grader, maybe now I still
Motoren besetzen.
would like to go a little bit faster.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Navigation besetzen.
Herr Kaloi.
So now, assuming them
Pedro 1 gewartet.
to move with 6 knots would mean that 8 knots, so in a quarter of an hour they would be there, and us moving with 8 knots as well. A quarter of an hour would see us 1, 2, 3 there. So we might still have the chance to get into a decent firing position. We are moving slightly faster than them. Let's just hope that this escort there is not getting on our tail.
Herr Kaloin,
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Yeah, looks reasonable.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
But we don't get any signal of these guys anymore.
Herr Kaloin, ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Okay, like this we should get into a decent firing position. Let's just hope that they don't pick up our signal. We're just moving too fast by now, and
Ja,
we should put down the periscope. We are not using it at the moment. We should have done that before. Yeah, the bulk of the convoy is moving much further south, so there is just this single guy there. And I'm pretty sure that this is a merchantman, and this is the flanking escort, so we might track that guy down. That's now our target. But it's gonna be a close thing.
Erwarte Ihre Befehle.
These guys moving along there. What's the distance? So the question is, on what distance would the escorts be able to hear us? So I think now we are in a good position.
Ist erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Just a mile away from their extrapolated course, so hydrophone.
Befehle.
Okay, that's this guy. Now we finally have him. But it looks like we nicely evaded this guy. Hydrophone contact. Escort.
Herr Kaloi,
There is a guy there. We don't know what type of ship this is. Just a hydrophone contact.
Herr Kaloi,
That guy is passing by, very comfortable. So maybe this would be a good point in time to go for
Schleichfahrt.
silent running.
Herr Kaloi,
There is a guy.
erwarte Ihre Befehle.
And there they are. One contact. That's the guy I would like to get. And this guy is going to pass on our stern, hopefully without detecting us.
Kurs setzen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
So let's just stop that and wait.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
Wait that guy to pass by.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Let's just hope that this guy didn't yet detect us. Sooner or later we are gonna have to figure out what type of ship this guy is. So angle, bearing actually, right? So it would be at 75 degrees. Should be there. And now let's briefly poke the periscope through the waves and see if we could already figure out what type of ship it is. What do you think? Is it a C3 or is it a Liberty? So please, your guesses. It's a Liberty, isn't it? Any guesses from the chat, guys? Velocity is 7, maybe 6. So angle on bow, when we have him at 75 degrees, so it would be 15. So their angle on bow on us should be roughly 15 degrees, like that. Yeah. (15 to 20).
Aktualisieren.
And what's the distance at the moment?
Bug rechts.
1, 2. Yeah, actually 2 miles. 1,800. $3,600, right? Meters, I mean.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 3600 Meter.
Oh yes, I have it on the wrong side. Probably we are on that side.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage.
They have us on port, not on starboard.
Herr Kaloin.
Okay, that guy moving on. So I'm pretty glad that we have such a clear hydrophone signal of these guys. Thanks to Mr. Strauss. You're doing a great job.
Befehle, Herr Kaloin.
Oh no, we lost them. No, we lost their signal. That's a pity. Well, we still have that signal of the guy, and it doesn't look like here. This is the escort, the corvette. Well, we guess it's a corvette, but it's pretty sure is an escort from the looks. And at least at the moment, it looks like they are not going for us. Looks like they do not yet have an idea that we are here. Now, let's take a look at the maintenance status of the torps. Oh yeah, they definitely need maintenance. Mr. Schneider. And Mr. Grade, you could also, we don't need you at the engines right now. There they go. Yeah, maybe that ship is now too close. I have the feeling that the hydrophone at one point gets very imprecise when you are getting very close and are at relatively low depths. So guys, please help me, give me your opinion of that ship. Is it a C3? Or is it actually a Liberty? I think it's a Liberty. And it's at 70 degrees by now. So the angle on bow looks good. Angle on bow, one of these words that I mispronounced over years, over decades, to put it like that. I have no idea, maybe there are also dialects where you would pronounce it like that, but
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 2, 3, Bug, link.
okay, the torpedo maintenance. They are pretty fast. Very good. So let's do the maintenance of the 2 other torpedoes as well. Now the question is, how fast does the maintenance status deteriorate? We are really getting more and more into the perfect, hopefully perfect firing position. Okay, now it's clear that the galley is not working now that we are on silent running. Mr. Schultz, so soon I'm gonna need you at the torpedo calculator. So could I give it some distance measurement? Yeah, this is guesswork on that distance. Don't quite believe that it's that far away. But now it's pretty clear, right? That it is a Liberty. Any objections? Dear chat, that this is a Liberty. If Colin were in, he would have seen it by the first glimpse and on large distance already. So always good to have him in the chat as a spotter. So when you position yourself in 90 degrees to their course, then it's an easy calculation. You take their bearing from your reading from the hydrophone and, well, you subtract this number from 90 degrees and this would give you their angle here. Yeah. Knowing that the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180, and if you know this one here being 90, you just have 90 left. And when you know this one here, you know what this one is. I'm not pretty good in doing calculations just in my head, but this makes it easy enough. Let's hope that our estimation of their course is all right.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Okay. This guy's just moving on on his course. That's good.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
But it's a pity that we don't get this hydrophone contact there, not reported anymore. Always good to have somebody at the engines ready to go flank just in case. Yeah, they are coming in actually too slowly. Maybe my torpedoes will be down in maintenance again until we are in a good firing position. Quite a bit of water in the bilge by now. Maybe I should slowly start to move towards their course. At the moment our position looks fine. Maybe I would like to get a little bit closer for a better firing position. And I think we're gonna have to repeat the maintenance.
Herr Kapitän?
This guy is just continuing his course, pretty good. Not doing any suspicious course changes.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
And there he is. There we do have him back on the screen. Yeah, looks like my extrapolation of the course is pretty precise, meaning they're gonna pass in front of us in a distance of 6 cables. That would mean that we are already in a good position. 6 cables would be 1,000 meters. Yeah, maybe less, 800, 900. 1,000 meters. 6 cables would be probably 1,000 meters. Maintenance. Can we do it? I think they are still well maintained. I think we can fire them like that. I was always wondering if the probability of dots is kind of gradually increasing, or if there is just one threshold when you have the probability switched on again, and when you're above this threshold in maintenance level, you have no probability of having a dot. But I think I even fired well-maintained more torpedoes and got dots, but might be, yeah, never 100% sure. Yeah, we are still fine. There he is. At 40. Yeah, so the angle on bow calculation looks just fine. So let's see that we get a good estimate of the distance. It's like that, right? 1 mile, it says.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung 1,938 Meter. Gegnerlager 4,9 links.
One mile. Yes, makes perfect sense. Okay, we lost contact again, but pretty sure that the guy is there. Yeah, now it's too late to do the maintenance anyway. And let's pick up speed, at least a bit.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. Alle Maschinen stoppen.
Again, 30. 20. Yeah, that's just fine. What about the distance? By now.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 1,434 Meter. Halbe Fahrt voraus. aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 1119 Meter. Rohr 1 bewässern.
What's the draught? 7.5. Let's put the torpedo to 7.5. It is already. Mr. Schultz, please give me the torpedo solution now. Come on. What are you up to? Why don't we get the torpedo solution?
Kursunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerfahrt 7 Knoten.
Maybe 6, I don't know. Hey, come on. Why don't we get the data? There we are.
Los. Rohr 2 bewässern. Los. Rohr 3 bewässern. Los.
All right. So fingers crossed that this is not gonna be a dud. Yes. Okay. Not a dud, definitely. So some people say that I overdo it like that, having fired 3 torpedoes on that one guy, but, well, better safe than sorry, right? Let's run in the periscope. What about the other guy there? Beautiful. We really picked this lone sheep to sink it. Okay. They radioed that they are under attack by a submarine. They are burning. Pretty sure that they are going down, that they are sinking.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Funkspruch erhalten.
Die Besatzung evakuiert das Schiff.
Very good. Yeah, the guy is going down. And the question is what this guy over there is gonna do. He should be turning around, but at the moment it looks like he's just carrying on. No, he's taking turns. So, do I get any? So that's the sinking ship. And that's the guy closing in. I don't think that we can get away like that, but we will see. Yeah, from a technical point of view, I think at a certain distance you are less likely to be detected by the Aztec when you are close to the surface. Because there must be some kind of cone that when you are a bit further away from an escort and are close to the surface. Okay, the ship is down. Very good. Very good. The ship sunk. We got it. So guys, I would be curious what your experience with that is. So actually I would like to do a drawing for that or a sketch, but if you imagine the surface of the ocean and the escort floating on the surface, and then I think their Aztec search cone, yeah, there must be some kind of a search cone, so that you could slip away close to the surface not being detected. And if you would dive, you would actually get into that cone. Don't know if this is heated in the game, but to me it sounds pretty logical. By the way, Mr. Schultz, yes, yeah, that's right. Problem is that I attacked this, lone sheep pretty far out of the convoy, so there's not too much disturbing noise from the convoy, but yeah, still, of course, the disturbing noise of them, of the escort themselves, herself. It's just one, luckily, at the moment. Let's hope that it stays like that. But it's beautiful that we can track them with the hydrophone at the moment. By the way, nice to see that there are a few guys watching. Hi, everybody, nice to have you in. Don't see who you are, just see the number. And that's just nice, so perfectly fine. If you just lurk, I always try to encourage you guys to participate in the chat. Or maybe to even give me a follow, but perfectly fine. Just watch. That's alright. Don't feel pushed. Just relax. This is good for, yeah. Just some late night. Well, depends, right? I think there are quite a few guys who would say this is not late night, like for example you, Aquising from Canada. But here in the Frankfurt region of Germany, it is pretty late night. It's 1:30 actually. So, yeah, we could still do a bit of streaming. I have to do quite a bit of work tomorrow at home office, but yeah, I could start a little bit later. That's the nice thing about it. I don't have any meetings or something. So if I get up at 9, well, that's perfectly fine. Just get me a shower and a banana, and in 15 or 20 minutes I am sitting at my desk then. Okay. We don't need you at the torpedo calculator at the moment. So, Mr. Arlos, you could care for the navigation, and yeah, maybe it's good, Mr. Lamprecht, if you stay ready at the periscope. Maybe on short notice we would like to fire a stern torpedo when this guy might be picking up our track. But at the moment it really doesn't look like that. By the way, let's check what the maintenance status of our stern torpedo actually is. Hey, why does the loading of that torpedo take so long? Okay, it urgently needs maintenance actually. So, Mr. Schneider, if you were so kind and give some maintenance to our stern torpedo. That's so beautiful that here, for the stern torpedo, you can just have one sailor assisting the mechanic, because it's just too cramped back there. There can't be a second guy working on the maintenance. Quite like that. Yes, to have a bit more space, right? How many stern torpedoes do you have in the type 9? 2, I think. I mean tubes. How many tubes? 2 stern torpedo tubes? Or is it even 3? If I remember right, the bow torpedo tubes is 5, right? And I think the stern was 2, right? Yep. And 5 bow torpedo tubes, right? Four, okay. So just the same, just a bit more stars probably. What about the water in the bilge? It's just very slowly increasing, which is completely uncritical. Less? You have less stores in the Type 9? Yeah, I just did 2, I think, 1 or 2 missions. A lot more external, yeah. Yeah. So you always run into that problem to get them from external to internal, but the game makes this pretty easy. Maybe a bit more easy than realistic. But, well, did I save since with sank? I think I didn't. Okay, so At the moment, it looks like that this escort has no idea where we are. Let's hope that it stays like that. And, well, with cruise speed underwater, we are more or less swiftly getting away, and we still have plenty of battery capacity. Yeah, air quality is fine as well. Discipline went up. That's probably because, well, the crew became enthusiastic about having sunk an enemy. I don't know, is there any kind of prize money, or has there been any kind of, yeah, you would call it prize money, but bounty for the crew? I mean, any reward financially for the crew when they sank tonnage? I think not, right? Medals, yeah. Yeah, a bit different to the Royal Navy back then. Well, they also didn't pay any money for sunk tonnage. Yeah, they only paid money for captured tonnage, yeah. By the way, let's check. Where are we? Oh, great. See, now we have reached the second level of the last stand, and we are gonna get the boat upgrade. Nice. So we have passed the 100,000 tons limit for this scenario. Yeah, yep. And finally it was just about sinking, yep. What was the Q ships? Was these kind of camouflaged? I mean, kind of merchantmen? Who did hide away heavy cannons or something, deck guns? Yeah, yep. Disguised as freighters, yep. I've read about that, or I think I saw some documentary. Well, they were mentioned. At the moment it looks like we can slip away. Contacts. Okay, now we did lose contact. Might be that he's right behind us at the moment, so we would not get him. Yeah, we have that kind of dead cone to the stern where we would not be able to detect any sound with the hydrophone. Let's change course a little bit away. Maybe this would allow us to get the guy. Yeah, nice. So that's great. That shows how consistent the simulation actually is. Looks like the guy was flanking the convoy, particularly to protect that single running transport, and now that it was sunk, it looks like he's gonna go straight back to the convoy. Let's do this little bit of cheating. Okay. And that's the wreckage and the lifeboats of the sunk ship. He's given up. He's just leaving. What I would love to see is that some ship would come and pick up the shipwrecks, the guys in the rafts. That guy's coming. And this one as well. Coming towards us, but well, we are pretty far away. What about you? Just moving on. Look at that. Looks like they're just about to change course. I really wonder what they're gonna do when they meet. Will this one turn around? Oh, this one is one of the evil Knievels with the hedgehog on the forecastle. Just moving on. Yeah, pretty beautifully simulated. You see the crew and yeah, this guy moving around, picking up his binoculars. So now I'm curious, what's gonna happen when these two guys meet? Is the outbound escort gonna turn around and go inbound for the convoy again, or is the inbound ship turn around with the other outbound ones and try to get after me? At the moment, I think they are reducing speed, aren't they? Yeah, they stopped. They are listening. Let's hope that they don't pick up our signal. But we are pretty far away by now. The other guy also stopped, did he? Yeah, this one stopped. I think this guy stopped. No, he is not stopping, but kind of slowing down. And turning around, so it pretty much looks like we are getting away.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Low speed, that's one of them. Pretty sure. I don't know. Yeah, probably. They are stopping, they are listening at a distance of 4 miles. Fingers crossed, but I think we should be relatively safe by now. Yeah, here Mr. Hardus is still smart assing and telling the two guys how to handle the depth planes, the depth steers. %, pretty low strain and stress. Discipline is still at 100%. Yeah, we are still running silently, and I think I would like to keep up the silent running for a little while to be on the safe side. Yeah, but we're still not 100% safe. We must be careful not to give away our position by any sound prematurely stopping silent running or moving faster, and particularly we should not get to the surface, or they would probably pick up our radar signal. Yeah, oxygen is still fine. Battery capacity is alright. So we could continue like that for a few, well, some 1 hour, 2 hours or something. And well, now we are 4 miles away from the position of that escort, and the convoy is even further away. So, shit, I didn't want to do time acceleration, but it probably didn't hurt. There is a contact. Okay. Pretty far away. Yeah, that's maybe other part of that convoy. Yeah, it really looked like that they were taking a turn here, changing course, and now going straight, something like that. Looks reasonable. So if we would extrapolate that course, it would bring us to, well, maybe they have changed course once here, going up and now going in. Yeah, this course looks pretty reasonable, makes perfect sense. Very consistent. Let's give it another save.
Ihre Befehle, Herr
1,
Kaloin.
2, 3. They're all moving away by now. So the closest one is this one. The other one. I think by now they're just following their path.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Now, what's the distance between them and us by now? 9 miles. Yeah. Well, that was smooth. I mean, it's always also a bit of, a piece of luck. How you get into the convoy from afar, you can't really know how, the escort is positioned and everything. But no, that was pretty lucky. I was coming from the north. And in the north, there was this single merchantman being flanked by that escort, and I was, in a very good position to pass in front of that escort to put myself right onto the course of the merchantman and sink him. That was pretty smooth. And here we are, having reached the second level of the Last Stand mission set. I think I'm gonna go home as soon as we are sure that these guys would not detect us anymore. Going in a circle and then go back for La Rochelle. Yeah, by now we still have 3 torpedoes left, of course. That would be enough for one more attack. But I don't know. If something goes wrong, might be just a waste of time. And we already had reached the mission goal before. The mission goal was sinking 7,000 tons, and we already did that in our last stream with sinking the C4 and the Liberty, and now we went far above 7,000 tons in the mission. We will see later how much it finally was when we are back home. I just wonder if this galley bug would go away when we stop doing silent running.
Herr Kaloin?
Wow. 12 miles. So, of course, no foot prep during silent running. So I hope when I stop silent running that the bug might have gone away and I'm going back to get some foot preparation. Let's try it right now. Let's turn on the gyro compass. Let's stop silent running and let's stop the direct orders. This is very good. What a relief. Look, this is what I was looking for, that this number there is this incredible number with something like how much is it? 9 digits or something. That really doesn't make sense. But counting up. So very good. I think, hey, like before we were not on silent running. Do you remember? It is definitely, it was a bug, I think. Of course, I know that during silent running you don't have foot preparation, but before we started silent running, when we were just moving on the surface to catch up with the convoy, it was still there. So I'm much relieved that we have it back now. I was a bit worried that it might be a bug which might be introduced with the new update, but weird. Pretty weird. Still funny that you have this number there. With how much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 digits. Yeah, but yeah, actually I would never exclude the possibility that I did something wrong or was not understanding some game concept properly, but that was pretty weird.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
However, let's not bother ourselves with that. Now it seems to work. And question now, should I put up the snorkel and stay submerged for a little while, or should we just get back to the surface? Now that we are something like 15 miles away, I think we could even get back to the surface right away. Let's give it a save. And then, so fresh air for anybody, guys. Let's get back to the surface.
Anblasen. Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
No cook, only one type of food, galley is flooded, battle stations are silent running. Yeah, exactly. And none of them was actually active. And yeah, I even checked that here there was a guy assigned to the galley, and it was just not producing output. Pretty weird. Pretty weird. Let's hope that we don't run into that again. Let's hope that we can't reproduce this effect. Hey, look! There we are again. Now it's back to 0. Now that we are back to the surface, now we have exactly the same effect. See that? Yeah, maybe the crew is unhappy with his cooking. Good point. They forbade him to cook any further food, and they prefer eating it raw. So now I would like to try something. Let's go for periscope depth again. This is where we have been before, when it still worked. Wouldn't make any sense, and it's pretty much trial and error, but before getting back to the surface it
Herr
did
Kaloy, wir sind
work.
auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Now let's do a bit of trial and error, and
Schleichfahrt.
Order silent running.
Schraubengeräusche, großer Konvoi, Pylon,
It is a bug, yeah. Later I would actually ask ChatGPT for a little deep research if any of this bug is known in the World Wide Web. So, and now if we
Schleichfahrt beenden.
end silent running, the cook will return, hopefully. Here we go. No. Nothing. Yeah, let's get back to the surface.
Anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
Alright, so I need to, yeah, let's put that question towards ChatGPT.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloy, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Hey ChatGPT, one question about UBOAT. So we are just in the middle of a stream, and I recognized from the very beginning that there seems to be trouble with the cooking. So I had 2, now 3 different types of food.
Yeah. Okay, so quick check. Do you mean cooking?
Okay, interesting. That was not quite what I intended to do. Okay, alright. So, ChatGPT, we are in the middle of the stream of UBOAT, and I discovered some problems. So at the moment we see an effect that although I am offering different types of food, and although the cook is there, the galley is not flooded, we are not on battle station, and we are not silent running, and still the galley doesn't start to produce a additional happiness. So could you do a little deep research and see if anybody was reporting that? My personal gut feeling is that the new update might have introduced this problem, because I never had that before. Thank you very much. So let's see what we get from that. Let's give him a minute to do the research. Okay, the radar range.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Yeah, see, they are at the limit of our radar range. I mean, of our passive radar detector. So their active radar would definitely have smaller range. Yeah, as long as our sensors have any level of high tech, the detection range of our passive radar detector should be much further than the detection range of their active radar, because they have always to rely on reflection, and if they send out their signal, a strong signal, only a very weak part of it is back reflected, particularly if it's just such a small cross-section like our boat. So the signal that hits us is much stronger for our passive detection system than the back reflected signal that hits their sensors. This is why I think if the German radar technology has been worth anything, we should be well off like now, that they should not be able to detect us. But I think what I'm going to do now is send the report.
Funkraum besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum. Funktelegramm gesendet.
Alright, so Mr. Hinrich, you can turn in right away.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, let's save. And let's take a look what ChatGPT did research.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
No any smoke on the horizon anymore. Okay, no. According to ChatGPT, there is no report, particularly no recent report about this issue. So let me try a bit. Okay. Can't empty the galley completely. Okay, interesting. Wasn't aware of that. Okay, let's change the type of food and see if this makes any difference. I don't think that I have any officer who has special cooking ability. Let's check. The captain actually is a cook, so let's see if what happens. Can we assign the captain to the galley? No, we can't do that. Also weird. Any other of the guys? Mr. Grade. Mr. Arlos. We do have a few Spanish speakers. Mr. Schneider. A French speaker. Okay. Never had that in mind. Mr. Hinrich. And Mr. Strauss. Okay, so it's only the captain, and for some whatever reason I can't assign him to the galley as well. I don't know if this is part of the problem, because I never did that before. I never assign officers to the galley. Let's give it a save and then quit the game briefly and reload. That might help. So quit to the menu. I. And load the game again. Here we go. So meanwhile, I'll be AFK just for a minute. So now I am curious. Sometimes this would just help reload the game. Yeah, okay, see. No, but we do get the effect again. I mean, in the positive way. But the cooking helps with the moral, but I'm still a bit suspicious that with some action, whatever, we might get the problem again. Let's see. So now we have the +4 bonus for varied dishes, which gives us a positive budget in terms of discipline. Alright. Fingers crossed that it keeps like that.
Kurs setzen.
Now let's see that we make it back home.
Herr Kaloin?
Yeah, still some faraway contacts.
Kurs setzen.
Let's hope that soon we are gonna get the maximum time compression available. There we are.
Kurs setzen.
Does it still work? Yes. I mean, the varied dishes effect still works.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs setzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Okay, change of watch again. And on we go. 3, 4.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Bestätige. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Bestätige.
1, 2 hours.
Signale geortet.
Mhm.
Heilung
Torpedo-Rohr 5
155 Grad.
gewartet.
155 degrees. Give it a save. Well, give it a new save. W569. Here we go.
Ja?
That's definitely planes. And they're moving like that.
Torpedo-Rohr 4 gewartet. Torpedo-Rohr 2 gewartet.
Let's just hope that they don't detect us.
Torpedo-Rohr 1 gewartet.
Time, it's evening. Yeah, we see the change of the color of the sky, indicating that evening is drawing in. And yeah, that night is, yeah, I wouldn't say night is falling, but evening is coming. Yeah, nice, look at that. So the sun is still high up, but we already have that change of the light to get this beautiful evening atmosphere in the game. All right.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 335 Grad.
It's just them again. Let's hope that they're not returning. But no, that might be a bad sign when they're not moving. They might be moving straight for, I mean, when their bearing is not changing, they might be moving straight for us or straight away from us. And if they were moving straight away, they should be out of range by now. So at the moment I do have more like the gut feeling that they are heading for us. And not heading away from us.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 350 Grad. Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 335 Grad. Alarm! Flugzeug im Los geht's, Männer! Peilung 355 Grad.
So,
Deckgeschütz besetzen.
please operate the gun.
Kurs setzen.
Change course. Let's hope that we are fast enough.
Große Fahrt voraus.
Flank speed.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Convoy.
Shit, you shouldn't
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Convoy.
shouldn't man the deck gun, you should man the anti-aircraft.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, the crew says we were discovered.
Herr Kaloy?
Okay, that contact is moving away. That seems to be a convoy. Radio contact. Convoy. But the other signal most probably is an airplane. Aircraft detected, alright. So guys, do your worst. Mr. Schultz, are you ready?
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
I don't know if it's smart to put more crew on the bridge when an airplane is approaching. Any planes around? There's ships, definitely. Okay, still no planes. Oh, there they are.
Feindliches Flugzeug erfolgreich abgeschossen.
Nice.
Funkraum besetzen.
Yes, yep. My bosun, Mr. Schultz, actually did shoot it down, yep.
Alarm beenden.
Funktelegramm gesendet. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Ja?
Why is the gyro still turned off? I told you now this is the third time that I tell you guys to turn on the gyro. Okay, let's hope that it stays like that. What about the varied dishes? Ah, okay, yes. Of course it was stopped. Food preparation was stopped because we were on battle station.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Tor 1 gewartet.
Well, let's give it a save. We did shoot down the plane. And now we still have that convoy. Well, but that's so far away. I'm a bit surprised that I actually get their signal. Their radar signature, radar signal. So maybe that over there is a military task force with a carrier. Airplanes detected again. Come on, they are sending airplanes. Amazing. So does it work actually? Does it work that a task force with a carrier actually acts as a kind of aircraft base? Would be just great. I think at that point I would like to just go for the snorkel.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
Please rig the snorkel. Probably diving is faster than rigging the snorkel.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Yeah, that looks like good timing. What's the weather, by the way? It's okay, weather improved. It's 12 knots wind speed. And I think the sea also quieted down a bit.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert. Schraubengeräusche. Große Gruppe. Peilung 265 Grad.
Yeah, okay. I was expecting that these are the guys that we already saw on the passive radar.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
What if we go flag speed? So problem is that we're not good at depth keeping. So we are probably not keeping up the speed because the snorkel is gonna get under the surface again and again.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, let's do the time acceleration so that we can get back home.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Schraubengeräusche, Handelsschiffe, mittlere Gruppe, Peilung
Torpedo Rohr 4
295
gewartet.
Grad. Herr Kapitän?
I would very much like to ignore them.
Anblasen.
And I would very much like to get back to the surface.
Meter.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloi. Schornsteinrauch. Peilung 0 Grad.
Funnel smoke dead ahead. Okay, look at that.
Handelsschiff. Direkt voraus.
Hey, it's just a good old merchant. Let's see if we can sink that guy.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
We still have a few torpedoes. We could also try to sink it with our deck guns, but let's first approach them carefully. Another few tons is floating there, but yeah, ramming speed, yeah. But yeah, we still don't know the nationality. It's a single trader, so we have to check whether it's US or French, or are there French ships in the game? But if it were Spanish, for example, or South American, Argentine or something, yeah, then we couldn't sink it.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind auf
Or let me say, we shouldn't sink it.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Schraubengeräusche, großer Konvoi, Peilung 275 Grad.
Torpedo Rohr 4 gewartet.
See, this is just an Empire Tower. Shoot first, ask questions later, yeah. Yeah, but I'm gonna try to stick to the rules. Angle on bow. What would be my guess? At the moment,
Schraubengeräusche, mittlerer Konvoi, Peilung 335 Grad.
something like 45 degrees. I'm having them dead ahead at the moment. 35. So that's my guess that they're moving. Something like that. Yeah, you get a minus in reputation. I had it not too long ago. If you sink a neutral, you will get a minus in reputation, which is, well, but it's a pretty small minus, if I remember right. Or I'm not quite sure anymore, or was it that you had to pay a fee? Might be.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty weak. And you can do it again and again, right? So the velocity will probably be just 7, I guess. They can go up to 10 knots, but I don't think that they are moving that fast. Maybe my guess was not too bad. What do you think? Any guesses about their angle on bow on us right now? My guess is roughly 40 degrees at the moment. It could be the Union Jack flying, but it could also be Spanish. Well, okay, problem is if it's going like that, it could really be Portuguese, for example, if it's coming from this way. And the game is sometimes pretty consistent with respect to that. It's Spanish, is it? By now I'm pretty sure that it's flying Spanish colors. But let's get a little bit closer to gain certainty. Yeah, and I am getting more and more certain that the guy is Spanish. But board the ship, and I do have Spanish speakers on board. Mr. Schulz. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna send Mr. Schulz anyway. Yep, it is Spanish. Yeah, let's get right into the way of theirs and then get to the surface and board them and make a check. To just say hi. No, I'm gonna inspect them and see whether they have contraband on board or check their papers.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. Alle Maschinen stopp.
There we are.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
So guys, get us to the surface.
10 Meter.
So my guess of their course was pretty good. Pretty good. Look at that. We are almost on a particular perpendicular position to them. I'm very much impressed. I usually am pretty bad to do this kind of checking
Alle Maschinen.
their angle on boson us.
Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Send a delegation.
Wir sind aufgetaucht.
So send Mr. Crowder, Mr. Arlos, and Mr. Schulz, and the ranks continue. So there we see the Zodiac.
Bienvenidos. El viento y el ruido hacen de la cubierta un mal lugar para hablar. Por favor, vengan conmigo a la caseta de cubierta. Allí tendremos la tranquilidad y la comodidad que necesitamos.
Wow, I think I haven't been boarding ships since the update. Okay, wind and noise make the deck a poor place to talk. Please come to the deck house. Yes. We want to see the shipping documents. You ask the captain for the documents. According to the documents, his ship is directed at the port of Buenos Aires. But, come on, look at the course. The course was definitely not for Buenos Aires. Looks like it was going for the US or something. Put some pressure and state that the documents seem to be false. Make up some claims. State with confidence state that their course doesn't look like they're traveling to Buenos Aires. And yeah, that is actually the case. The captain is surprised that you make such claim without any hesitation. Goes for the map and shows you that this course is actually correct. Okay. Make up some claims. The captain denies all accusations. We must have a look at your cargo. Come on. Let's check the cargo. Performance is very fast, but it would still take ages. So let's see if there is any suspicious in the cargo hold. Yeah, but the course is weird. They're really not looking like they're going for Buenos Aires. View the transported goods. Grain, canned fish, cheese. Okay, that's unsuspicious. Okay, come on. We're gonna return to our ship. There is not too much evidence.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. Langsame Fahrt zurück. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Funkmesssignale geortet. Peilung 50 Grad.
Funkraum besetzen.
Yeah, it's just getting late. I have to turn in actually.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Let's give it a save. And yeah, let's see that we continue tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining my stream. It was a pleasure to have you. Aqua-icing. Nice to have an extended chat with you. Weight loss, same for you. Always great to have you in. And yeah, there were quite a few other people in the stream, but they didn't turn up in the chat, which is perfectly fine. So all of you guys, have a good night. Yeah, Aqua-icing. Then maybe see you tomorrow. Yeah, you still have a few hours, right? So, what is it, 6 hours? So, my guess is that it's something like 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. on your side. Yeah, okay, alright. So, have a good night and maybe see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.